Hey guys, welcome back to another Sorted George with me, Julian. Today's job, we're going to be welding up the passenger footwell. Right, this is the state of the footwell in the front passenger side. Unfortunately, time hasn't been on my side this morning, so I've had to make a start. I've already made the panel. So yeah, basically, obviously I've marked it all up. I need to cut out around here, get rid of all of that lot. I've also got another patch down here and a small one there, so just in here. So yeah, let's crack on. Sorted, George. Here we go. Okay, what I've just done now, I've got a bit of a damp cloth up here. I put weldable primer around. I need that to dry yet, but I've also done it on the back of the panel, so that at least it's got something like between the underneath of here and there, because I should be welding along that line. Once it's welded in, I will get up underneath and I will put some stone chip on the outside, which is obviously this side, so that it's got something to protect it from the elements, but also it's got a bit of primer on it as well. And then obviously I should paint the floor in here. So right, that's going to go and sit in there like so. Just got to wait for the primer to dry. And away we go. Sorted, George. Right, back with you in a bit. Now that's dry. Right, sorted, George. Let's bung this into position as best we can. I don't normally use templates, but on this particular one I did, because not only have you got this bend going this way, you've also got this curve as well, plus you've got to cut this little piece out, or I did anyway, because of this weird shape here. So it was easier for me just to use a bit of card, sort of knock this area into shape. I put this bend in first, knock that down, marked up where I wanted to cut it, cut across here, and that was it basically. Nice and easy on this one, nice and simple. So yeah, right, let's crack on and put her in. Sorted, George, here we go. I think I might have put the old weldable primer on a little bit too thick in some places, but never mind, it is what it is. We'll get there. Okay, this is where we're up to at the moment. She's in. I've just got to sort of put a few more tack welds in, as you do. Sorry, I didn't realise, but the camera decided to sort of fall down and whatever else, so I didn't realise that. Near bother. Right, let's crack on, shall us? As you do. Sorted, George. And there we go. We've just tightened all them up. That's quite nice. I'm pleased with that. That's good. Right, what have we got going on now? As you can see over here, we're blowing a few holes. So unfortunately, I obviously didn't quite cut out enough. We got a few holes blowing through here as well. So seeing as you've got this up here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that whole section out, and basically I'm just going to cut those welds out, sit another panel on top of that and weld along that line. I know it's going to be a bit of a patchwork quilt, but unfortunately you can't help it. So there's my outside line. Come along here and back down again. So I'm going to cut all this lot out. I didn't quite realise it was bad over here and here. So I thought, well, rather than mess about, I just well replace the whole lot and be done with it. I've made the, I've already made the panel. I've got the old pipe bender out, as you do, and sit that over there nicely. So that's how it's going to be. Like I say, I know it's going to be a bit of a patchwork quilt, but never mind, it is what it is. It's on the floor, it's under the carpet, nobody's going to see it, it don't matter, and it's going to be strong, and that's the whole point. And there she is in, jobbed. I've got to obviously grind off the tops of the welds, as you do. That wasn't quite as bad as what I thought, so I just sort of filled that up with weld, and I shall obviously flatten that down with a flap disc. But she's in, and I got some seam sealer. What I'll do is I'll go around, obviously, the welds with some seam sealer, and then, like I say, I will paint up underneath with some stone chip. So, sorted, George. Right, let's get these ground out and crack on. And that's giving that a tidy up now. Just taking all the edges off, like I say. And yeah, sorted. That's good. At least the floor's solid now. Well pleased about that. Like I say, what I'm going to do now is just give it a bit of seam sealer around the joints, paint the floor like I did in the trunk, and then I'll go up underneath and seam seal up that as well, just so that sort of like, you know, belt and braces job, as it were, and then I should paint up underneath with some stone chip. Sorted, George. Right, time to go in. I'll pick this up later. Right, see you in a bit. Right, next evening, here we go. Been up there, stone chipped all that lot, as it were. Got to be done. It's you see it's starting to dry there, as you do. Sorted, George. Right, now let's go and show you the floor. And that's the floor done. Job, sorted, George. Right, obviously all masticed up around in the welds. That's lovely, as you do. Sorry about the dust. That's just what's come out of the bottom of the carpet. So I've sort of brushed it all up into here. Made sure it's gone into all of the welds. There's no way the weather is going to get in through that, as you do. Yeah, so I'm just going to obviously leave that to go off for sort of 24, 48 hours, and then I'll come out and give it a paint like I did with the trunk floor. Speaking of the trunk floor, I can't remember if when I done the trunk floor, I can't remember if I told you or not, but about 10 years ago, I had a 68 Coronet, and basically the main area of the trunk floor, like above the fuel tank, I had to replace. And I just used some, obviously, flat metal like what I've got now, and I didn't have anything to bead roll or anything like that. Basically, what I'd done to take out any flex, and I've done it here because there was just a tiny bit of flex with this bit. What I've done is basically you get a ball peen hammer, sit it down, as you do, and then you get another BFH, and then you whack it hard, and basically that way then you can keep that steel and you know where you're going to hit. And by putting these little dents in, it's taken out any excess metal, if you like. I won't say it stretched it, but anything that's loose, there's now no flex in that floor, but there was before I done this. It's basically bead rolling without bead rolling. So if it helps you out, you can actually take out any sort of flexy bits, because I mean this bit was fine. I just sort of carried them over, and then I sort of like done it up here just to follow these lines down. It didn't need it up there. There was a little bit here. This was the main one here. Move the camera, that would help. Yeah, this was the main one here. And if you listen, what I have noticed as well, that knocking, this is the first time I've done the floor on a C body, and what I've noticed, the floor doesn't get welded to the chassis rail like it does in the trunk when I've done the trunk floor. But the B bodies, they do. These ones don't, which I found a bit strange, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, getting back on target. We're done now. Let's say leave it for a couple of days, and then I'll come back out and paint it like I did in the trunk. So yeah, see you in a couple of days. Banging. Sorted, George. And there it is, all done. It's all seam sealer's all nice and dry. Paint's all dry, so now I can put the carpet back. Lovely. While I was waiting, I gave the old dash to clean up. Unfortunately, I don't know if you remember, back at the beginning I had all that stuff in the trunk. Unfortunately, I didn't have a glove box door, so I had to get one from the States. It turned out it was a green one, unfortunately, so I've painted it black to match that side, because I'm not going to get a colour to match that. Not in the plastic paint anyway, not without spending out stupid money for it. So I'm just in a process at the moment of freeing up the high beam foot switch, like on the little Scamp. It's decided to stick a bit, so that's what we're doing at the moment. We're just freeing that up. There you go, wants to stick. So just a bit of the old white sort of powder corrosion, as it were, in there, like, you know. So give that a free up. What else? I've done the headlights. I've got the UK spec, if you like, because obviously we drive on the left over here, so the beam needs to sort of go over to the curb that way instead of that way. So, and they're the halogen ones with the halogen bulbs. They're not the sealed beam units. Same with the high beam on there. You've only got the one. You've got the live, and then the earth is at a bit of a different angle. So like I did with the Polara, I've made some tails up for that one, but they fit lovely. So that's that lot done. Sorted, George. So yeah, now all it wants is just a bit of a clean up, and we're done. She's straight, this, I'll tell you, she really is straight. I'm well chuffed with this. Yeah, sorted, George. Right, let's crack on. Here we go. Job. There it is. Look at that. Lovely. All I've done was tipped it upside down, and you've got two channels here. Look, one there and one on the other side. And all I've done was tipped it upside down, sprayed a bit of the old wherever it's gone over here. Sprayed a bit of the old WD-40 down there. Look, as you do, down the down in there. So of course, obviously, it went up. Well, went down because it was upside down. And there she is, lovely, good as new, nothing wrong with that lot. I've already tested the headlights and everything else, so I know that the switch gear, not the switch gear, sorry, but you know, the terminals and everything else in there are all okay. So yeah, that's lubricated that up, lovely. Sorted, George. Right, let's go and put that back in, shall us? And there it is, all back in, all done, all cleaned up, as you do. Lovely, that's not sticking anymore. That's sorted, lovely. Sorted, George. Right, now what I've done, I've just given it a quick wipe over, as you do. She's come up nice. She is straight, this one, I tell you, really is. Absolutely brilliant. Sorted, George. Right, I think now it's time to take her out for a quick run, don't you? As you do. Got to be done. Why not? Here we go. There she goes. There's the thunder. Yeah, baby. Certainly gets ups and goes. That's lovely. brakes are fantastic. There's no pulling on the brakes. That's brilliant. Well chuffed. Fabulous. She pulls up straight. She pulls up lovely. That's brilliant. Right, I'm going to go and get some fuel and take her for a cruise. Well, I got to say, she's driving lovely. She just wanted a good clear out, that's all. Picking up nice. Bit of a cough and a splutter sometimes, but I think maybe the carburetor wants a bit more of a tweak. But she's going all right, as you can hear. Sort of George, banging. Changes gear lovely. I know that the transmission was rebuilt at some point, not sure when, a couple of years ago. Like I say, she's been sat for a couple of years, so even if it was 10 years, I mean, she's changing as smooth as you like. Well chuffed. Well, she drove absolutely superb. I'm well chuffed with that. Sorry about the wind, can't help it up here. Yeah, I know the transmission was rebuilt whenever it was, I know 5-10 years ago. I know she's been sat for about 4 years, so changes up through the gears lovely. I think that confidence spluttering before, it just needed a bit of a clear out basically. It needed a good rev and drive up the road, because once I'd done that, she cleared out lovely. She was driving brilliant. Thanks ever so much for watching, I do appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe if you wouldn't mind. And I think this is a nice setting to end this one. Sort with George, laters.